The Provincial Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Department in the Eastern Cape is planning to introduce a collective executive with a ward participatory system that would take powers away from the mayor and allow for a new committee to run proceedings. Nelson Mandela Bay Mayor Retief Odendaal has now declared an intergovernmental dispute to prevent this from happening. Siphosethu Booi is in Gqeberha, and she's going to tell us more about the developments there. Siphosethu, good morning to you. What exactly is going on here? What is the new mayor advocating for exactly?
Xoli, the mayor is basically just advocating for this new system not to take course here in Nelson Mandela Bay, as well as the other parties that are within council. They've all rejected this particular move from the MEC, Zolile Williams, who takes after, of course, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs former MEC, Xoli Lengata, because this was introduced, Xoli, at a very critical time here in Nelson Mandela Bay as far as political instability was concerned. Earlier on, we spoke to Abantu Integrity Movement founder and leader and newly elected deputy mayor, of course, Mkhuseli Jack. He also said they as a party are not accepting this particular move or proposal from the MEC's office, and they are just not for it. Joining me now is, of course, EFF chairperson in NMB, Kanyangqesha. He'll tell us as far as the economic freedom fighters' stance is concerned with regards to this particular move from the MEC. Mr. Ngqesha, what is the EFF stance with regards to this newly proposed deal by the MEC's office?
Well, we believe that it's something perhaps to have a look at, because indeed there has been a great instability within our metro, Nelson Mandela Metro, due to the unstable political conditions in which we had found ourselves in. I mean, you have a situation where from time to time the smaller political parties would sign a coalition agreement with a particular political party. 6 months or 8 months down the line they move and shift to another political party, which then creates a sense of instability. But obviously, if you look at it, the collective participatory system excludes some of the smaller political parties, and it does not take a rocket scientist to tell you that they would, of course, reject it. But surely, if you look at it, one would say that it is in the interest really of a democracy, because currently, for instance, you've got political parties maybe with one seat, but they are they are political heads and taking serious decisions in terms of what needs to happen in this particular metro. Of which the democratic vote which took place in November expressed something that was different, because if you've got one seat, surely you should not be in that particular position to take those particular decisions. But as things stand, ourselves, we are not anti. We cannot say that we are anti the Section 12 notice, because really we've seen the type of instability that exists within this particular metro.
With regards to what you just mentioned, as far as these different political department, of course, officials that oversee these particular departments, if things run smoothly as far as, for instance, human settlements and other departments, as the EFF, what is your stance with regards to service delivery in situations like these as far as political instability is concerned in the metro?
Well, hence it is one of the critical issues that I raised, because once there is instability, it affects service delivery negatively. So it's something that ourselves, we said we need to have perhaps take a step back and have a look at and see whether it would be something that would create stability within this metro. As I said, ourselves as the EFF, anything that would create stability would most likely support it, as long as our people will be able to get the service delivery in which they deserve. But If Section 12 is indeed implemented by the provincial government, one again would think that perhaps it may put ourselves in the same position which we are in now, because it will give the ANC 4 seats, the DA 4 seats, ourselves, the EFF, will get 1 along with the Northern Alliance. However, there will be less expectations of people to manage in terms of what the demands of the smaller political parties are. And I suppose it would be a better fair system that would be a better representation of what the electoral wanted within this particular municipality.
Thank you, Mr. Ngisha. EFF chairperson here in Nelson Mandela Bay, Oli Ngisha, saying they are not anti this particular system being introduced to the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro. And Oli, I must also make mention of the fact that it will force the 2 majority parties to actually work together, meaning the ANC as well as the DA in this particular metro, scrapping out council having a speaker as well as council chief whip. To
Booi, thank you very much for that update live for us in Gqeberha. That's in the Eastern Cape province.